Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to today's how-to video. Specifically, we're going to be covering how to activate the Particle Argon Internet of Things Beginner's Kit. We're going to have some fun today, but I want to get a couple of housekeeping items out of the way before we get going. First and foremost, see those buttons and bells and everything else below this video? Really would appreciate it if you hit like or subscribe to this channel. Give us a little bit of feedback on the things that you would like to see covered here. Now you'll notice that today looks a little different. Kind of shooting it from the house. Got the stuff behind me. Not really much in terms of post-production quality. But that's simple. I'm not getting paid to do any of that. So guess what? Not going to. But today we're going to do something that's actually pretty cool that you can actually do with your children, and that's show them how things work from an Internet of Things standpoint. And you can do that all with a simple kit from Particle. We're going to start today by making sure you have all the pieces. So the first thing you need to do is unbox your Particle Argon kit. Make sure you have the actual device, the breadboard that it comes with. You're going to end up needing the Wi-Fi connector, antenna, and power cord. Now, let's say you somehow don't have the power cord. This actually is a micro USB cord, so chances are you've got one lying around. So if you don't have it, not the big deal. But let's go ahead and jump in. Now you'll notice over my right shoulder here, actually technically it's your left, but who cares? You'll notice that you're going to see some screenshots as we go through, just so you can see how this thing works. The folks at Particle have done a really good job trying to make this an easy to use, easy to interface device. They want you to start working with it. They want you to understand it. They want you to get into it right then, right there, literally with no time at all. So let's jump into how this works. I already talked about unboxing it. So what do you do when you unbox it? It's real simple. It's actually written on the inside of the box. First place you go is to their website. You type in setup.particle.io into any web browser. Doesn't matter which one you use. It's going to take you to their home page. If you've never created an account before, you're going to need to do that. Piece of advice, write down your password somewhere. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to do this. Go ahead and create that, and then it's going to take you to a landing page. It's going to ask you what kind of device you have, at which point you will then be prompted to go either have them text you the app for your particular phone, or you can have the option of going and find that in your particular phone's app store. So it could be something, where you go and get an app from the Apple Store, or you could go from the Google Play Store, whichever one works. So for this particular example, we use the iPhone, and that's what you're going to start seeing here in just a second. Go into the App Store on the iPhone, go in and type in Particle. It's going to pull up the screenshot that you see over my shoulder here. Go ahead and download that bad boy. And you're going to open it up once it gets done downloading. You get the option that says, all right, let's get started. You tap that button at the base of the screen, and it prompts you to enter in all of that login information you created about 2 or 3 seconds ago. See, I told you that stuff was important. Once you've done that, you're going to go through a couple more setup screens. It's then going to ask you to start activating the device. That's where things get fun. We're going to do exactly what we just said. We're going to get started. So you'll notice this particular screen actually has a button that says get started. So you're going to tap that button. It's then going to ask you to scan the QR code that is on your device. You'll actually see that in the picture above my shoulder here. So what you're going to do is you're going to tap that blue bar at the bottom. Your camera on your phone is going to activate, or if you have permissions turned on, it's going to ask you if it allows you to allow that to happen. You go ahead and scan that, and it automatically is going to go to the right type of setup from that point. The next screen that you're going to notice is that it's going to start setting up the device itself, and it's going to need you to complete a couple of steps to do this. The first thing before we even get started with the picture that you see on over my shoulder here is you got to make sure that your device is actually into your breadboard. So that means you need to take the device out of the styrofoam that it comes in and press it very carefully, very evenly, and very firmly into your breadboard so that all of the prongs, all of the outlets are actually in the different junction boxes on the breadboard. Once that's done, you can begin literally following the on-screen step-by-step instructions. So the first thing that you're going to do is attach the Wi-Fi antenna to the Wi-Fi antenna outlet on the device. And that's actually on the right, well, technically my right, your left-hand side of the device. Then you're going to say, all right, yeah, I've checked that box. So you're literally going to check the box and click on next. Once you've done that, you're going to plug in that micro USB power cable into the top of the device. Key point here, your cable's got to be actually connected to a power source. Plugging in the cable by itself is not going to do you any good if it's not connected to a power source. So if you've got a USB charging hub or if you've got something on the outlet, go ahead and make sure it's connected. You've got to make sure you're done. Once you're done, the next thing that you're going to see is you're going to see a little blue blinking light in the center top of that device. Once that light starts blinking, you are clear to go to that next step. It will then tell you that, hey, once it's completed, hey, we've done all of this. Congratulations, this device is set up. You may be thinking, wow, that really was easy. Is that it? Not exactly. So what's the next step? You then go through another screen. It's going to say, all right, let's get your device updated. Gotta love that. You're probably going to go through a series of update screens. Depending upon when you purchased the device, when it was manufactured, you may have no updates to go through, or you might have several. In this case, we actually had to go through 3. So you could kind of see that on the screenshot over my shoulder here. You go ahead and tap the begin update, and it cycles through all of the different updates that you're going to do. Once it's done, it's going to ask you if you want that to be a part of a mesh network. That is strictly up to you, depending upon what type of project you want to use this for. If you don't want to do that, just tap the bottom button on that is white in nature and color, and you'll go to the next screen. It will then give you the option, says, hey, do you want to join the device cloud? Oh yeah, by the way, it's free for this certain thing. Just go ahead and say next. It's all right. Everybody's got that this day and age. It's not going to cost you a dime. Once you've done that, they're going to say, all right, we want to walk you through some of the features. Let's get this thing connected to the device cloud. This is where having your Wi-Fi ready to go at whatever location you're at is critical. You have to have access, both in terms of the Wi-Fi actually being on, and 2, if it's password protected, you have to have the password. So go ahead and tap that next button, and what it's going to ask you, it says, first and foremost, let's give your device a name. Go ahead and name it. Then you're going to say done. Once you say done, you're then going to go through that process, connect it to the Wi-Fi, and you should be good to go. The fun thing here is that, all right, how do I actually go through and start using this? Well, that's a different thing for a different video. We're not going to cover that just yet. So you have to come back next time to see what are some of the really cool things that you can actually do with this device that will not only help you teach, any member of your family or even yourself how the Internet of Things really does work. So one of the things that we do want to highlight here is that little Tinker tab. So go ahead and tap that tab at the top of the app. It's going to take you to a screen that you see right here. It says, welcome to Tinker. Let's show you how this thing works. Once you do that, just tap on that D7 button right there. All you have to do is tap on it once. The first thing you'll see, you'll notice that it goes to a low setting. That means that particular port is now on and active. It's now sending out a signal. If you tap that button again, it now goes to high, and you will notice, holy cow, I have another blue light that is blinking. Yes, that's supposed to happen. Now you're probably wondering, wait a second, how do I turn it off? That's easy. All you got to do is go back to that screen, tap and hold that D7 button, and it will automatically turn off. As you're probably aware, you have 5 different analog channels and 8 different digital channels on this particular particle device. That gives you a myriad of options to adding different sensors and different connections. And truth be told, the opportunities and options are truly limitless. So you can have a lot of fun with this particular device. Once you're done with the app, you want to say, all right, I'm going to close it out. Once you close out of that app, you do have the option, if you want to go back in, put in your password again, or you can log out entirely out of your password. From a security conscious standpoint, I'm going to encourage you to always log out of the app just to make sure that nothing nefarious happens. Now, if chances of that happening, honestly, remote, but password protection is one of the most often underappreciated things in modern society today. So go ahead, log out of the app. Yeah, I know it's kind of frustrating and you really like to have the app be ready to go when you tap on it. But listen, when we're dealing with internet connections to where you're connecting different devices together, it's never a bad idea to go ahead and get that completely and totally turned off, both as a device and on your phone. Once you've exited out of the app, it's real simple to turn off the device. You simply remove that micro USB cable from the top of your device. The device will automatically power down. Now, there's different things, it's different videos and whatnot, different opinions. People say, all right, hey, do you take the Wi-Fi antenna off? Do you leave it on? What do you do? Honestly, something that small and that fragile, you want to protect that as much as possible. So very, very carefully with your fingers or your fingernails, lift that particular cable off that port directly vertical. Don't go sideways, don't wiggle it, don't bend it, just lift it straight up. Once you get that off, feel free to put that back in the envelope that it came in and seal that bad boy up. Make sure that it's safe. As far as leaving the device on the breadboard, that's a different story. Obviously, you want to make sure that the device is safe and it's not going to be damaged, but at the same time, I'm going to be candid with you. Getting that thing out of the breadboard, good luck. You need some pliers and the jaws of life and God knows what else to get it out. If you know you're not going to be transporting the device, if you know that device is going to sit on your desk or sit somewhere that is out of the way of anyone who might mess with it, go ahead and leave it into the breadboard. It's not going to hurt anything. Once you're done, you put it up, and that's it. You are now ready to start fiddling around and figure out how the Internet of Things really does work. Tune in next time as we go through more tips and tricks on the Particle Argon IO device. See you next time.